You know, while he was talking, I was thinking of something. It's like the reason why we put all these rules out there, is it because many women, especially, they're not true enough to themselves to walk away from a marriage that doesn't work. You're not confident or bold enough to say, you know what, this isn't working, I need to leave. Because we are not allowed to divorce, according to religion. You know how you get to a phase in your life when you're like, you know what, this is not there, but we kind of force it to, we make it work. Our parents stayed regardless. But a modern woman is looking at options like, do I want to stay till 70, 80 in this state? Do I want to, or because I have choices, I can say, you know what, it wasn't working. Let me give you an example. This is a true story, and I hope the person isn't watching. They were lovebirds. They were, you know, those primary school,
college sweethearts.
Thank you. College, not even college, primary sweethearts. Like, you know, they just loved each other. They cute, the whole family knew them, and they grew up together, went to university, they were friends. Everybody just automatically knew they're going to get married. Fortunately or unfortunately, the guy obviously went for greener pastures abroad, right? Because he wanted a better life for his life, for himself. The girl stayed back. He abroad, moved on, met somebody, and got married. She left Nigeria, you know, realizing he got married, you know, had to find somebody else, and then she got somebody else, and she was married, and they were happy. A fantastic human being. That she was married to. Fantastic. He loves her, they love each other, and it was perfect. Until the brother moved back home. Left his wife over there, came back home, and they connected somehow. And before you know it, it was hard. The butterflies came, and it was natural. These are people that natural love was floating. Now, in that situation, if it was somebody from a different country, and she feels like, okay, you know what, this is not working, I need to leave, because you don't want to sin by cheating, right?
Yeah.
So I'd rather leave this marriage, divorce, and move on and find happiness. And you can see that people like that can live to 80 happy because they're best friends and they are okay. But because of the society we live in, even though this is where my heart is, I stay put here because this is the choice I have made. It's my responsibility to stay here, but I am responsibly unhappy. And that can cause cancer because you are thinking your heart, because something in your mind is thinking, I'm here, you know, there's something, because there are issues eventually. I'm just giving you an example of scenario.
You just see the two of them walk away from their marriage, divorce their partners and come together. And that's the beauty of, it might look like Oyinbo films, but there are true stories of how that has happened, where they both rediscovered themselves and realized that we are actually better off being together and we are not fully happy in our personal marriages the way it has been. So we come back together. In Nigeria here, there are true life stories of how two people that dated each other when they were young now got married, both of them got old, both of them became widowed, and then they remarried. Like that it was trending one time that they both remarried at old age, like in their 70s, thereabouts. So there is something like your soulmate, someone that you really have like this soul deep tie connection with. You pray that that person happens to be your husband, and if it's not your husband, you pray you never encounter that person again when you're married.
Now we're talking.
But if you do we have the courage to walk away from a good marriage for a great soul tie, soulmate relationship?
I don't know if, you know, if I would advise someone to leave a good man, because there's that person that I connected with as a childhood sweetheart, you know. I may say I'm more... Do you have a call?
Yes, I do. Oluwafemi, I'll come back to you, ma'am. Oluwafemi is holding for a minute. Good morning, Oluwafemi.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
All right. Good morning, everyone. All right. See, my own contribution is, you see, marriage and relationship, they are different things entirely. And again, the way you handle your love life is different to the way Topper handle our own love life too. It's easier to say it than done. See, what is there is, one, communication matters, and again, is not every marriage or relationship ends in good terms. Meanwhile, some happen with distance, some is just misinformation, something like that, and you having an affair or maybe getting contact to your ex again might ignite where you guys stopped. Because, mind you, we are bound to make mistakes. And if you make a mistake, it should be a lesson for me. It should be a lesson to someone else too. So that person breaking things, though it's not advisable, but at least you don't know the extent they might have gone before breaking that thing.
Thank you very much.
My ability to just say I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Olafemi. I didn't hear you very well in the studio, but maybe our viewers heard you properly.
Yes, I was just referring to people who connected as in childhood and, gone ahead to marry wonderful people. I may likely say to that person, just stick with your marriage. This man hasn't done you any wrong. You have children that you're raising. Because I know that marriage sometimes also about compromises, and sacrifices. So I'm likely to be the one to tell you, stay. There is no reason. These butterflies, I mean, if it was so great the first time, why did he even go and marry someone? Why didn't he wait for you to come back? I think now he's back. You see that? So when he now travels again, they'll dump you again while he goes. So with love and everything, I also like stability. I like dependability. So for me, those are the things that will tick my box. That flighty feeling, I'm not down for that. But, a situation happens, you are both widowed, or for some reason the marriages end, independently of, then, of course, enjoy that. But really?
Right. So it's still, responding to your question, it still boils down to setting boundaries because you already know what you feel for this person. So you do not even give that opportunity to come. I don't want to meet you. I don't want to see you in a private place so that you will not rekindle all the feelings and all the goosebumps that you used to have on me. And then I won't even advise any woman to go through that route because the grass is not always greener on the other side. You might be thinking, oh, you're feeling butterflies for this person, or maybe marriage would have been better with them. And then you get married to that person and realize that, this person is not a great companion to live with. Because some men or some relationships are better when you are afar off. When you're seeing each other once in a while, you haven't finished, has not entered. Exactly. But when you now leave stability and certainty for uncertainty, then you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of heartbreak. It can go two ways. It can be nice, and you might chop premium breakfast at the end of the day. But I would advise such a person, however, to choose stability over uncertainty.
All right, Felix from Adamawa. Thanks for calling, Felix.
Yes, Kai, I've been trying to reach you for Cisco. You see, can you hear me?
It's a bit low, but we'll try.
Okay. Yes, I see such attitude as a sign of immaturity to me. You understand? Because breaking the simcard will not prevent he who wants to be promiscuous to be promiscuous. You understand? First and foremost, there must be love before you put up you go into marriage. Then you need to understand yourself. If two spouses still want to see their ex, perhaps there's a vacuum that needs to be filled, and that two of them couldn't fill that vacuum, and that is why they are tempted to still look at the back. The Bible says Jacob wanted to marry Rachel because he loved Rachel. But they gave him Leah. Because he loved Rachel, he worked for another extra 7 years to get Rachel. So you find that when a woman marries, because out of let people not say I'm not married, let me just marry, and she marries, you find that she still be tempted. Then she sees that her old guy. There's some things you wish to do for her that will tempt her to go back to it. But if she has every reason to have overcome other areas, nothing will move her. You understand? But when you say you can.
Oh, sorry, we lost that couple. I think we got the...
That's a good example.
The story was very
that's a good example of,
to portray it. But even when you read that Bible story all the way till the end, there were plenty corners to the story and commas to the story. We're not giving anybody templates.
Sure.
We're not here to tell you this is what you should do or how you should do it. We're giving you different options and opening your eyes to see probably things that you would have overlooked and then pay attention more to now. You're becoming more aware. And then you now have different options to consider and ask yourself the crucial questions on what decision you want to take, and you're taking it from an informed place. Mariah asked a very crucial question. How many women are able to walk out of a bad relationship or walk out of a relationship that they know that is not giving what they want for their life? Many won't because of this thing called stability.
Yes.
I want stability. So whichever way, the man is paying children's school fees, is at least he's paying for
We said
house.
we said we're talking of a good man. We're not talking
He's a good man, but he's not giving you.
He's not giving you
He's
romance.
not loving you the way you want to be loved.
Okay, what is he not giving?
Everybody has a way they want to be loved.
Yes.
And even they don't know. Sometimes until they enter the marriage, because you don't have experience.
True.
So you don't even know until. And maybe he doesn't have the capacity
to even give
it to you the way you choose.
And 15 years have
And
passed.
15 years after I passed,
been
and
waiting
you're just
and
discovering yourself, and you're just knowing, you're like, you know, because when you're talking, I remember I went for it's an 80th birthday party many years ago, and you know, and both of them were still a couple, husband and wife. They were I think 180, 82, something like that. And you know, one of the children, I sat next to one of the children, and she was just looking at her mom. So everybody's celebrating mommy something years in marriage, you know. That's
If you know the
practical, the trauma that her mother went, that her mother just stayed because of the children. But that woman that you're seeing, that it looks like she's happy.
She's sad.
Really, it's been like 60 years of
Look at that.
sadness. So that's the Nigerian African story usually. Because we see our mother, we celebrate, oh, mommy, 60 years of marriage, how did you do it? And they're just like...
Okay, so there's a difference.
So some are like that. And
So there's a difference. There's staying because this person is a good person. I have no reason
to leave.
The only reason that is affecting me is that flighty, butterflies, those giz. And for me, that is not sustainable. It could go one day. The way it's hot today, it will be cold tomorrow. But if we're talking of someone who is unhappy because the person she's married to is making her unhappy. See, even if the person is not using Koboko to swipe her, but he's using his words or he's using his actions or, you know, constantly being a brute in the house or, you know, that sort of person is unhappy because that partner is making the environment toxic for her or for him or the other way around. Then that's not a happy marriage. And we advise people, you know, that in the end, it's about your happiness. And you cannot give, especially when you have children, you can't give what you don't have. If you're a bitter mother and a bitter wife, it would somehow, you will sow that seed in your children. You sow the seed in your environment, and you don't want that to sprout. So it's either the person understands what you are causing, the man understands, or the woman understands that you have created a toxic environment. Nothing with life will grow here. You know, nothing positive will grow here. And I may have to walk away. And so sometimes when we see women walk away from toxic situation, Nigerian society, you don't shut them down, you don't criticize them. And that's how she left her husband. That's how he left his wife. But why? So the question now is the why the person left the marriage.
Let me take Elijah Zubair has been holding. Good morning, sir. Elijah Zubair.
Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Morale, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Morale, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, I want to talk about the issue of cutting shame is out of expectation. You know, I think that is not necessary. You know, the way I look at that, you know, because though, you know, we don't know what really happened, but it's not even necessary. What about the memory aspect, you know, of the woman, you know? So that was not, to me, I condemn it in totality. But at the same time, we need to commend Damola, you know, with what he said. You know, with Damola's statement is a kind of wisdom. It's a kind of advice to the generality of women. If you are not prepared, you know, to marry, don't do it. If the moment you get yourself involved, avoid any damages as far as your marriage life is concerned. But at the same time, Memorial, please, let me just, contribute to your last copy of the Senate. You understand? We should not put sentiment into the action of the Senate. You see, whatever they spend is within their budget. It's just unfortunate that this president of the Senate, that is his own, system of doing things. That is the way I look at it. But at the same time, like Tokwe said, Senate should understand Nigeria is cutting costs. They themselves should apply that way of cutting costs because Nigeria is suffering. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elijah. But let's take a few comments on social media before we run off.
Before we take social media comments, I wanted to just, like what Mariam is saying, like what we've all been saying, it's the idea of, sometimes you need to talk to a therapist or talk to a marriage consultant even while you're married, because, they say that if you are if you are a carpenter, if you're a carpenter, everything becomes a nail because you're used to. If you're a hammer, everything is a nail. So, and there was a time that in my marriage, I was always picking on a particular thing in my husband, and it was like, this is just the one thing, right? In every other area, do you have a problem? No. So, but why are you always picking on this one thing?
Yeah.
And that made me realize that I was overemphasizing and over-demonizing one challenge, which if I look at it, it wasn't really a deal breaker, but I was making a mole into a mountain. And that happens with focus. When you focus on something, it expands. Maybe your partner had a phone call, very innocent, then you focused in on that person. You went to Google the person's name, then you check the social media, then you scroll down the person's page, then you turn to James Bond, then you started going to see where the person goes to. At the end of the day, you will find it because you were looking for it. So having a conversation with a coach or with a counselor might help you redirect if you are the one searching or if there was something to be found in the first place. So let's just put things into perspective.
I think that's a good way to wrap it up. Any comments on social media? Nothing yet?
They have
anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Yeah.
Final comments.
Yeah, my final comments would be trust your partner at the end of the day. You know, the importance of trust in marriage cannot be overemphasized because there are some men that are also unnecessarily insecure just because their wives have, one male friend here and others. You need to be able to trust your partner fully and know them, know their values, because I believe one of the reasons why a man would be so insecure about or maybe a partner would be so insecure about themselves is because they do not know the values and the integrity of that partner. They do not know what they stand for. They cannot go outside and say, no, my husband can never do this. No, my wife can never do this. So you have suspicions in your head because you're constantly thinking that, men are bad or women are bad. So it's very important that you establish trust in your marriage and, just pray. And we wish you all good luck, married people.
Comments?
Well, you can set boundaries on both sides. If you're in a marriage and your wife is stepping out in a way you don't like, set the boundaries that you don't want your partner to take. Yeah. And if you are a person that is, taking advantage of, your marriage and hanging out with people, also set boundaries in such a way that you don't fall for someone that has been in your life before. Yeah.
And also, I would like to want to wrap up, Tokwe. But for my own wrap up, I think I would probably just borrow from what Tokwe said. Not one person is not all bad. There are good things in everybody. Focus on those good things about the person, and let not the world make you feel like, oh, if this intimacy is not this level, if you don't do this, the whole thing should come crumbling down. It's not true. There are people who have survived with various, with their partner, without their partner being very rich or wealthy. They've survived without their partner being overly, there are different things that the world make you look as if your husband doesn't have this thing. You're not there yet. It's not true. You can actually find happiness in the littlest things. So focus on the good things this person has. And even though your ex might have those things that cause your boss, there is a way you can actually redirect all that energy back to what you have. Let's be thankful for what we have control over and not aspire for something we cannot even get in the first place. That's all we can take on today's Family Talk Show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.